Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I just wanted to comment on what happened to Charlie Kirk. But first off, major breaking news. Disney's ABC is canceling Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely due to him lying that the Charlie Kirk assassin was MAGA, per the Wall Street Journal. I saw what Jimmy Kimmel said, and honestly, I didn't think the Trump administration was going to do anything. I thought he was just going to continue to have his crappy show, and he'd be consequence free. I don't think Trump has done enough to crack down on unhinged far leftists after this assassination, but this is something. And I just want to make it clear to people, it's not like Disney and ABC canceled Jimmy Kimmel. Like, oh, Disney just decided to do the right thing and let him go. No, this was the FCC that pressured Disney and ABC to cancel him. Disney would never in a million years do the right thing when it comes to this situation. So this freak has been caught, thankfully, thank God, because his dad turned him in. But then the administration acted like, oh, well, we actually caught him. Like, no, you didn't. You just got lucky. So this person on X is saying, the guy's toast. He knows it. I hope no one he worked with receives plea deals in exchange for testimony against him. They all need to be prosecuted. Take down the whole ring, the Discord members who posted and bragged in advance, all of them. So this guy, he was in a Discord group with a bunch of other Antifa members. And what I found really strange about what was leaked from this Discord group was the people in here, after hearing about Charlie Kirk's assassination, they went, oh no, Kirk was assassinated. This is terrible. I can't believe this happened. Oh gosh. And if you know anything about Antifa or anonymous left-wing radicals online, they do not talk like that. They're not going to go into some anonymous forum. They even say it when they're not anonymous. They'll say it like on LinkedIn with their first and last name, how they're celebrating Kirk's death. You're telling me that a bunch of anon leftists went on this Discord and were saying that they were sorry that Kirk died? No, that is so out of character. They were in on this. Not to mention, one of Tyler Robinson's neighbors said that he saw some people show up to his house with out-of-state license plates who were obviously trans or gay or whatnot. And he said they gave him a weird vibe. I mean, it really seems like this Discord group is a cell. They acted as a group, and other people knew what Tyler was about to do. I don't think he did this spur of the moment without telling anybody, because this guy seems to have no issue with talking. He talks way too much about his crimes. If you saw that text message, here, this is Matt Walsh talking about it. This released text between Robinson and his trainee girlfriend, which everyone is saying sounds totally fake. Walsh says the most plausible and sensible theory isn't that the FBI made up text messages and released them, but that the killer and his boyfriend constructed this highly scripted text conversation as an alibi for the boyfriend. Now, on the other side, people are saying, well, if you know these chronically online autistic weirdos, this is just how they talk. They talk very weird, like LARPers. Because the kid said some just strange things you wouldn't hear out of a Gen Z guy's mouth, like interrogated, squad car, retrieved it, swept that spot. He calls his dad his old man. I think that it's both. I think that he was sending this text as an alibi to his boyfriend, and they're just autistic weirdos. This is probably kind of how they talk. I could see that. It's probably both. But either way, that just fits in with what I was saying before, that I think he was operating in a cell. There was a group of people who planned this out, including his trans boyfriend. And we have a major problem in this country. As Christopher the Warrior says on X, the problem is the Democratic Party, who once controlled America for decades, has been severely hijacked by a socialist element that sees no issue with attacking those they oppose, including the burning of Governor Shapiro Mansion and the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So to be clear, the issue I'm talking about is, of course, the unhinged leftists that have hijacked the media, the Democrat Party, places in government, Hollywood, you name it. The Ivy League institutions, every single powerful organization in America has these people's influence somewhere. Clandestine says, here's what happened. The Dems/MSM told all the trans kids who are already mentally ill and in a state of psychosis that Trump is literally Hitlerio and wants to commit trans genocide. They created a standing army of mentally ill lunatics who want to kill us. Not hyperbole. That is the situation we're in. Just watch this clip of the liberal elites in mainstream media calling forth their unhinged army.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism, is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
We are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
Maybe some of them, they don't really understand what they're doing. They just want more clicks. They want more views. But I think some of them do understand the implications of the things they're saying, and they're okay with it. So, Trump just said he's looking to designate Antifa and other left-wing groups as domestic terror organizations. Okay, then why hasn't he done it yet? Because if Trump did this, he would get support from the vast majority of Americans, including just regular liberals. In fact, it really does seem like, and I would bet money on this, there are people walking away from being a liberal every single day in this country. Every single day in this country, people are walking away from being a Democrat. I see it all over X, people giving these testimonials after seeing the Kirk assassination, that they're done. They're walking away. Trump also said he has been working with AG Bondi on RICO charges for those funding these groups, meaning George Soros. Trump has had enough. Honestly, I've never seen a billionaire being taken down in this country. I don't think it's ever happened in modern history that a president has actually successfully gone after a dangerous billionaire. So because I haven't seen it, I'll only believe it if I see it. Because this country's an oligarchy, effectively. It's run by billionaires. It's run by special interest groups. And the president does have power, but they are more so the figurehead of the oligarchs who actually run things. So how is the figurehead going to take down one of the controllers? George Soros has more clandestine power than Trump does. In certain ways, I think he does. So unless there's some sort of complicated billionaire feud happening behind the scenes, I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off. Because that does happen, where certain billionaire factions team up against other billionaires. It's not like one cohesive group that controls everything. It's a constant power struggle. Like how back in the day, Henry Ford was against the Dodge brothers. But yeah, I'll stay tuned to see what happens to Soros. I mean, they followed through with Jimmy Kimmel, so who knows? And he did say the right thing on this interview with Fox and Friends. Trump asked to disavow radicals on the right. He says, "I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. The radicals on the left are the problem." Absolutely correct response. And he did the right response for no other reason than we cannot capitulate to this idea of, oh, it's both sides. Both sides are the problem after something like this happens. No. There is one side that has taken over all of our major institutions and then are broadcasting to their foot soldiers on the ground that Republicans are literally fascists and want to kill them and take away their rights. That is the issue we're dealing with, and that is what we need to address. Now, some people are saying that Israel was involved with Kirk's assassination. Although I will admit, it seems pretty strange that Kirk's seemingly change of heart against Israel happened soon before his death. And when I say change of heart, it was in the most basic way possible. What did he say? He called what's happening in Palestine an ethnic cleansing. That's like, oh, wow. wasn't expecting that out of Kirk, but really, that's not even a socially unacceptable thing to say. That's what everyone says at this point, except for Israelis. What else did he say? He said that secular Jays, like the ones who formed the ADL, have been responsible for a lot of the regressive things we've been seeing in America, like feminism, LGBT stuff, critical race theory. Okay, well, all right, you're getting a little bit more red-pilled there, okay. But, is that really that crazy to say? To me, when he was saying those things, it was because Kirk was being pressured to by his audience. The vast majority of the young people who listen to Kirk agreed wholeheartedly with that sentence. Kirk was obviously one of the bravest men on it. Let's be real. It is hard to go up in front of a crowd of thousands and debate everybody with half the audience wanting to kill you. But Kirk, he seems like a stable man. He seems like someone who really plans ahead, someone who wants to do what's best for his family. Now, he cares deeply about America, but he doesn't come off as someone who's like, I'm going to do a total 180 on Israel and AIPAC and the people who are disproportionately influencing this country. I'm going to go scorched earth and join Dan Bilzerian and Myron Gaines. There's no universe where that would happen, where Charlie Kirk is like, all right, Nick Fuentes, I'm on your side now with Myron Gaines, Sneeko, Andrew Tate, and Dan Bilzerian. Like, that would never happen. So this idea that Israel killed him because, he was telling way too many truths, I don't buy it. I mean, he was the best asset Israel had when it came to making sure that Gen Z continued to support Israel. Can you name one other better asset than Charlie Kirk? No, they don't exist. Gen Z doesn't care about Ben Shapiro. They're not going to listen to him. They listened to Kirk. And let's face it, it's a real danger we have in this country with a bunch of far-left lunatics who've been led to believe that they need to kill white Christians in order to survive. Like, that is a real problem we're dealing with. It isn't always Israel. But Brett, the Jays push transgenderism. Yeah, I know. But that is a completely different conversation. And it does not apply to this situation. And you could say, the patsy who pretended to be the shooter in order to distract law enforcement, he was placed there by Mossad. Maybe, but I don't think Mossad killed Kirk. So Tyler Robinson, the far-left communist terrorist who murdered Kirk, was a member of the Salt Lake DSA. I mean, just look at how many of these lunatics thought that it was socially acceptable to put out their name, to put out their face and their first and last name, and celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk, thinking that that was just totally normal and that the majority of people would agree. That's how far removed they are from reality. Not everything is a conspiracy. We actually do live in a very fallen, screwed up society, and that has consequences. Also, we got people around here with really long chins. So, Prosopa Insights on YouTube, he's a physiognomy expert. He found something really interesting. He said, a member of my Discord pointed this out. What's with all these shooters and the long chins? Here we go. The kid who tried to kill Trump, the tranny shooter, these two guys. And I knew someone in my high school with a super long chin that everyone thought was going to be a school shooter. There's something here. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Maybe you don't have to totally believe it, but just keep it in the back of your head. And they are so far gone that these leftists actually now think that it was a Groyper that killed Charlie Kirk. The guy who shot Charlie Kirk actually was on his side. Do you idiots realize how stupid you sound? Like it was said before, these are extremely low IQ and extremely depraved individuals who have lived a long life of sin and are going crazy. And I think that demonic possession plays a role in this too. I think that psychologists have shown they actually really don't know much about the brain, or consciousness, I mean. And I made that Kyle Odom reptilian video where I was just reporting on a story of someone who lost their mind and thought that their pastor was a reptilian, and then he tried to shoot his pastor. And a lot of people in the comments, it was kind of disturbing, have said, oh yes, this same thing has happened to me. I've seen these figures too. I see them all the time. And I don't think that they realize that they are possessed. The people who are commenting on that video, you are either under a dark influence or you were in the past. And it sounds like a lot of you are not Christian. You need to become Christian, and you need to realize that you are being controlled. And Christ is the only way out of it. He is the only one who can save you. Because this is happening to a lot of people in the modern world, especially in America. I'm seeing a lot of demonic influence and people who do not have the tools to counter it, and they do not live in a society that takes it seriously. But you need to take it seriously because it's a major problem right now. We can't have the majority of our citizens under demonic influence. We just can't have that and remain a functioning nation and remain a country that we can pass down to our children. That can't happen. That little voice in your head that's disparaging you, psychologists will say that's your ego. No, that's a demon, and you need to cast them out. The power of Christ compels you. Just say that. I saw it in a movie. It should work. But seriously, it works. So, Charlie Kirk was a great Christian man, and that's how he'll be remembered. I know he was complicit in the capture of America by the usual suspects, but liberation of America wasn't his role here. His role here was evangelizing, and he got a lot of people to rethink Christianity. His goal here was to convince young women to not have abortions and the value of a good family life. And that means something. That means everything, really. He did way more good than bad. If anyone is in heaven, it's Charlie Kirk. So that wraps up this video. Thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.